Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It's Monday, up and at 'em, guys. It's October 7th. Girls, settle down. And today, I thought we'd talk back on the business sense side, right? And what do I mean by the business sense side? I mean, why is it that not, you have an owner, okay, running a business, and the employees or an employee wants to buy him out. Is that employee, will they succeed? And what are the pluses and minuses of having an employee buy you out? Why every employee can't take over your business? Maybe that'll give you some thought, right? All right, so hang tight. Hey, welcome back. My name is Eric, and yes, today is Monday. This is the weekday, Monday through Friday, available on podcast as well. So today is October 7th, and I got thinking about the other day of there's so many small businesses where an employee wants to take over the business because the owner is retiring and they want to continue on. Now, I'll be honest with you. My side of it, I'm seeing more employees unwilling to take over the business and continue on. And why is that? I mean, you really have to think about it. Why wouldn't employees get together and, if it's a successful business, and continue on? Because they're not willing to risk a paycheck. They're not willing to stick their neck out. It's not their cup of tea, and that's fine. That's the best thing about it, is understanding and knowing your limitations. If you're not the kind of person that can live with, taking a few chances and the ups and downs and this and that, then at least you're being honest with yourself. But here's where I see the complications. I think it's a good thing if you can get a couple of employees together that want to take over the business. But, there's always a but. But, has that owner been willing to, and is willing to A, stay on for a while until they learn the ropes, or has he or she been teaching those employees the business side of it that they deal with? You have to come in at a known, not an unknown, a known. An unknown is you've been at it for quite a while. Most of the businesses that I see succeed, of where maybe the family takes over, the kids that are running the business, or employees take over, are ones that have worked for that company, for that owner for years. And they've shown an eagerness and a willingness to learn. And the owner has been open about helping them learn, because we all can learn how to run a business. This is not about starting up a business. This is about maintaining and growing a business. It's a big difference. And if you don't believe me, ask a few people in this room that have started up a business and different ones that are maintaining and growing a business. Different box of chocolates, right? And they come with their own issues. But if you've worked for that man or that woman for years, and they've taken you under their wing, and you've been willing to ask a lot of questions, and you let it known years back that if they ever decided to retire, you would be interested, a few of you would be interested in taking over the business and buying him or her out. Now, where I've seen it work is like the John Deere dealership. I've talked to you about them before because I grew up with them. And their father and a partner started the business, all right? And he groomed those three boys on how to run that business. And as they got old enough and they were out of high school, or they were in high school going into college, he had them working there. Yes. And he found their strengths and their weaknesses. And there was three of them. And the center boy, was good with financing, was good with business, was good in that sense. So he put that son in charge of closing deals. Like, if somebody bought a tractor, helping them to get them financed, and do all that work, right? But also he was responsible for inventory controls and payroll, but in a sense, not totally payroll, because they had an office manager as well that the second oldest would just sign off. He would check payroll, make sure it was right, and everybody was meshing in there. But the father picked the boys because the partner had passed away, so the father ended up having it all to himself. So the boys had to decide, do we stick at it or don't we? And I'm not quite sure how, but he talked all three of those boys into staying and working at that dealership. He gave them all upper roles. It wasn't just given to them. They had to show tenacity. They had to show, they went to college. And the one was the business side, went to college for business. And he ran the farm side, right? And then you had the youngest ran the lawn and garden side, which they were together, but they were separate. And that's the way they ran it. Was they started off as a farm dealer in this area, and then as they grew, they steadily took on, like the compacts. They started taking on the lawn and garden, and the youngest had the eagerness and willingness and a college degree. They all went to college to run and maintain that side of the business. And they had their own inventory parts. They had their own. So, but all three boys worked from the ground up. They understood everybody's job because they had that job, right? Except the dads. But they had everybody's job, and they knew what was the expectation. And the older one ended up running over all the parts, sales, and the three of them were just rock solid. But the big thing that I saw was they treated everybody like family. All their employees felt like they were family. All the customers that came in and bought from them felt like family. Could they have made more money if they just did business and didn't care about the community, didn't care about their customers, didn't care about their employees? Would it be any different? Yes, because it is now. Because corporate bought them out. And they're not big on the community. They're not involved in the community like they were. They were involved in every aspect. They would hold on big cancer things and sponsor things. Kids that were battling cancer, they would sponsor. They started a home where kids with cancer can come to get away and ride horseback and ride on the trails and this and that. They learn that you give back. You give back. And the new owners want nothing to do with it. And now all I hear about is these customers grumbling, saying that they won't go back because they're not treated well. Well, they're not treated like they were with a family-run business. And now you have a normally run business step in, and they're looking at just profit loss, right? And a number of the employees left this last time because they weren't treated like family. They were treated, this is what our expectations of you to do. If you don't want to do it, get your ass out. And a lot of them left. Their best sales guy left. And he walked from that job right to a competing farm dealership. Oh, they took him in a heartbeat because he's good at sales. He doesn't push. He lets you know what he's got, and he lets you make the decision. But it goes back to, why can't every employee take over your business? And that's clear and simple. Is one, they don't have the know-how. Two, they're not willing to put in the extra hours like the owner is. Three, they're going to change everything because they think they know better, which sometimes is the case, depending on who the owner is. I've seen mediocre businesses be bought out by employees and turned into beautiful businesses, very, profitable businesses, because they took a different approach. Instead of, Oscar the Grouch, they were smiling and friendly and welcoming. And their staff was the same way. If you can get your business where you have customers coming into a retail space of where it's calm and people are having a good time and enjoying working there and shopping there, you've got it made. You figured it out. It's like that cartoon character, that dog with the calculator. He keeps pushing it and then ching-ching. He says, it doesn't add up. Well, it doesn't add up because if you're just looking at numbers, you're looking at profit loss, you're not taking into account the human factor, right? And a lot of very successful businesses are attributed to the human factor, and that is the one at the helm. Now, I can tell you about another business, and they're is it AAA? I guess it is. And he was very involved in the community, and he run just a retail of everything from tools to heating and cooling to new cabinets to flooring to you name it. It's a big hardware store. And one of the things that I noticed right off the bat when I started going there was I knew a few people that had worked there and still work there. And they started there when they were 18. And they're still there. And when you see something like that, what I see anyways, is the boss is taking care of them. They're feeling wanted and needed and compensated. And this fellow was more than willing to allow his employees to work their way up the rank, okay? And if you had somebody that had the willingness or desire to learn more about the business, he was open about it. And I think what he ended up doing, because he's got to be in his late 70s right now, was he sold half the business to employees because they couldn't get the funding to buy him totally out. So he did the next best thing was, let's partner together. We're doing it already, but let's partner together. And when you guys get on your feet and can show the bank that you are going to make it and do well, then you can buy me out. And they did. They ended up buying him out. But that's creative, where the owner is encouraging his employees to take the helm, and he's working with them the best that he can. And he's there if they have any questions. He isn't, screw you, I'm done. He stops in and walks around and says hi to everybody. He's the old guy that everybody knew, and it was really nice. But not all employees are made and built like that. See, I feel that it's easier to maintain and grow a business than it is to start one. Because when you're starting one, you don't have anything to go by. You don't have any results. You don't have anything that says, well, okay, this was worth my effort, right? But once a business is up and running, and if you're looking to buy to maintain it where it is, or you want to grow it, you have numbers. You have, from how many years that business was run. And we have another business that did just that. They sold their hair salons, and he did construction and had his own business, so they sold those two. And they bought this guy out that has roofing, lumber, you name it, the guy's got it, right? And a number of Amish worked for him. But they ended up buying him out. But the stipulation is that he would work at least 1 year paid for them to show them the ropes. And he could have gone and done anything he wanted to do. The owner. Because he's almost 80 now. But he loves the camaraderie of the employees. He loves the people, the customers. He always made people feel welcome. And the Amish the same way. What can we do for you, He's still there. He's still there, and he's still on payroll. He doesn't need to be. He's wealthy. With selling the business, he made millions. But that's just it. Money isn't going to make you happy. Having dollars and cents in the bank makes it more comfortable because you don't have to worry about a lot of crap, right? But it doesn't solve happiness. And to all three owners, their happiness was with their business. And they stayed on in a limited basis. They weren't telling the owners how to run the business. They were offering advice. Those are examples of where I think an employee can take over a business. Why can't any employee take over? Because it's you have to have the right mindset, and you also need to have the background. And if that owner hasn't been forthright with those employees looking to take it over, the business could be in the red for the last 3 years. And you as employees are looking at prospective owners, that's the first thing you want to do is look at the books. Well, maybe not. I talk with the employees first. But if you're an employee, you already know. And then I would kind of feel out customers. And then I would look at the books. Because with me, looking at the books would come probably mid to later. And why do I say that? Because I look at a business and I try to see what the potential could be. Right? And maybe we could become that if the employees were treated better, or we got rid of some employees and got some better employees, or added on new product lines, et cetera, et cetera. So I always look at a business as a potential, diamond in the rough. So if they're in the red the last 4 or 5 years, that doesn't deter me. It just says that person either gave up, which a lot of them do, because they get tired, they get old and tired, or they have poor management skills. It's the economy, stupid, right? But businesses need to learn to enjoy the highs, but bank money, because the lows are going to come. So you need money tucked, I call it. So when the lows come, you have extra money to pull from to get you through there to bring you back to the highs. You see what I'm saying? So if you look at a business, if it had a couple good years and then it had maybe 6 months bad and then back up a couple of good years, if he's not tucking money during the bad, he could be in the red. And once you get behind the 8 ball, it's hard to get back and into the blue. So hopefully you've learned something from this. If you're an employee looking to take over a business, or your group of you are looking to take over the business, I think if you work there for a while and the owner's been forthright and willing to stay on and willing to teach you guys, and you're willing to take the risk, why not? Why not? If you're not self-motivated and you don't like the idea of going without a paycheck this week, you might want to rethink it. Because the last thing I'll leave you with is an owner. Your first expense is your employees. The first group that you pay are your employees. They come before your suppliers, your customers, everybody. Your employees have to be paid first. That's in New York, that's the law. So let me know what you think on that. We're talking about taking a business that's already up and running and having employees take it over and maintain it, and possibly the owners stick around for a while. So on that note, you guys have a great Monday. We'll catch you here bright and early tomorrow morning. Again, thanks so much for watching. Appreciate it.